Hello and welcome to the Practical English Podcast. My name is Mike.
And I'm Angela. We're so glad you could join us today. In this episode, we're talking about a very common problem for English learners.
That's right, Angela. The title of today's episode is Speak English Faster and More Naturally. Simple Tricks That Work.
Exactly. Mike, have you ever heard students say they feel stuck when they try to speak? They know the words, but the sentences come out very slowly.
All the time. It's a huge frustration. They often say, I have to translate everything in my head from my first language and it takes too long.
And that's what we are going to help with today. We have 4 simple, very practical tricks that will help you stop translating in your head, respond faster, and feel much more confident when you speak.
Our goal is to give you tools you can use immediately. By the end of this episode, you will have a clear plan to improve your speaking speed and sound more natural. Ready to get started, Angela?
I am. Let's jump into our first trick. Okay, trick number 1 is something that feels almost too easy, but it works wonders. Use simple sentences.
Simple sentences. I love this tip. Can you explain why this is so effective?
Of course, when you are learning, your brain is already working very hard. If you try to build long, complicated sentences, you're giving your brain too much to do at once.
Right. You have to think about grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure. It's a lot to handle.
Exactly. Short sentences reduce that pressure. They're easier to build correctly, which means you make fewer mistakes and you can say them much faster. Think of it like building with Legos. It's much easier and quicker to build something with small, simple blocks than to try and fit large, complex pieces together, especially when you're just starting out. You build confidence with each small success.
That makes perfect sense. Let's give our listeners an example. Imagine someone asks you for your opinion on a movie. A learner might try to say something very formal and complex.
Okay, like this. I am thinking that maybe it would be possible for me to say that, from my point of view, the movie was quite interesting.
Wow, that is long, and you can hear how much thought has to go into that. Now, how could we say the same thing with simple sentences?
Easy. You could just say, I think the movie was good. The story was interesting. See? 2 short, simple sentences. It's clear, fast, and sounds very natural.
Much better. Let's try another one. Someone asks about your weekend plans. The complicated version could be, although I have not yet finalized all of my arrangements, my intention is to visit the local park on Saturday.
That sounds like a robot. The simple, natural version would be, I'm not sure yet. I think I'll go to the park on Saturday.
Perfect. So the main idea here is don't try to impress people with long words and complex grammar. Focus on clear communication. Short sentences are your best friend. It's about building a foundation. Once you're comfortable with simple sentences, you can naturally start to combine them and form more complex thoughts. But you have to master the basics first. Think of it as learning to walk before you can run.
That's it. You'll speak faster and feel more confident.
All right, let's move on to trick number 2. This one is all about buying yourself time to think. Our trick is use conversation fillers.
Ah, fillers. This is a great one. What are conversation fillers, Mike?
Fillers are short words or phrases that we use in conversation when we need a moment to think about what to say next. Native speakers use them all the time.
That's so true. Using them doesn't make you sound weak or unsure. It actually makes you sound more natural because it's a normal part of speaking. A silent pause can feel awkward, but a filler word keeps the conversation flowing.
Exactly. So, what are some good fillers to learn? Well, the most common one is literally, well. You can start many sentences with it. Well, I think it's a good idea.
Another great one is let me think or let me see. If someone asks you a question you aren't expecting, you can say, let me think for a moment. It signals that you are considering your answer.
I use that one a lot. Another fantastic one is, that's a good question. This is perfect when you need a few seconds. It also makes the other person feel good.
Totally. Let's do a quick role play. Mike, ask me a question.
Okay. Angela, what is the best way to travel around your city?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, let me think. I would say the subway is probably the fastest way to get around the city center.
See, that sounded completely natural. You used two fillers and it gave you time to form your answer perfectly.
A few others you can use are I'm not sure, but, or to be honest. So, for our listeners, try to learn 2 or 3 of these fillers and practice using them. You will be amazed at how much more smoothly your conversations go. Okay, moving on to trick number 3, which builds perfectly on our last 2 points. This trick is learn useful phrases, not just single words.
Yes, this is a game changer. What do we mean by phrases?
We mean learning groups of words that often go together. Think of them as chunks of language. When you learn vocabulary, don't just learn the word depend. Instead, learn the whole phrase, it depends.
That's a fantastic example. And why is this so helpful for speaking faster?
Because when you learn a whole phrase, your brain doesn't have to build the sentence from scratch. It's like having a pre-made piece of a sentence ready to use. It saves so much mental energy.
Right. So instead of thinking it depends on, you just have the complete phrase, it depends, ready to go.
Exactly. Let's list some really useful phrases that our listeners can start learning today. A great one for agreeing with someone is I agree, or for a stronger agreement, I completely agree.
Another good one is that makes sense. You can use this when someone explains something and you understand it. It's much more natural than just saying I understand.
And for giving your opinion, instead of starting with I think, which is fine, you can also use in my opinion or from my perspective.
Let's give them a few more. How about, could you repeat that please, for when you don't hear something?
A perfect one. And what about what do you think? To ask someone for their opinion and keep the conversation going.
Yes, the key is to notice these phrases when you are listening to English. When you hear a group of words used together often, write down the whole phrase, not just one word.
That's the best way to learn them. By learning these chunks, you'll find that you can build sentences and respond much, much faster.
Okay, we've covered 3 great tricks: simple sentences, conversation fillers, and learning phrases. Now for our 4th and final trick, which is perhaps the most important of all.
I think I know what it is. Is it practice?
It is, but specifically, trick number 4 is practice speaking out loud.
This is so crucial. Why isn't it enough to just think of the sentences in your head?
Because speaking is a physical activity. Your mouth, your tongue, your lips, they're all muscles. You need to train them to make the sounds of English. It's like learning to play the guitar. You can't just think about it, you have to actually move your fingers.
That's a great analogy. It's about building muscle memory for your mouth. So, what are some simple ways to practice speaking out loud, especially if you don't have a speaking partner?
One of the easiest things to do is to take the phrases we talked about today and just repeat them out loud. Say, that's a good question, 5 times. It might feel strange, but it helps.
Another powerful technique is called shadowing. This is when you listen to a short piece of audio, like a clip from this podcast, and you try to speak at the same time as the speaker, copying their pronunciation and rhythm.
Shadowing is fantastic for improving your flow and natural rhythm. You don't even have to understand every word. Just focus on the sounds.
And a final suggestion, talk to yourself. I know it sounds funny, but it works. When you're making breakfast, describe what you are doing. I'm opening the fridge. I'm taking out the milk.
Or you can ask yourself simple questions and answer them out loud. For example, right now, to our listeners, answer this question out loud. What did you do yesterday?
Go on, try it. Even a simple answer like, yesterday I went to work, is great practice. The key is to make speaking a regular habit, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. So those are our 4 tricks. Before we summarize, we want to share one final, very important tip for all learners.
Yes, and this is more of a mindset tip. Please remember, fluency is about speaking comfortably and confidently. It is not about speaking perfectly.
This is so important. Many learners are afraid to speak because they are worried about making mistakes. but mistakes are a normal part of learning.
Absolutely. Even native speakers make mistakes. We forget words, we use the wrong grammar sometimes. The goal is clear communication, not perfection.
So be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress. Every conversation you have is a victory. Focus on being understood and your confidence will grow. And with more confidence, you will naturally speak faster.
All right, what a great discussion. Let's do a quick summary of the 4 main tricks to speak English faster and more naturally.
Let's do it. Trick number 1 was
Use simple sentences. Don't try to be too complex. Short, clear sentences are best.
trick number 2, use conversation fillers. Words like well and let me see give you time to think and make you sound more natural.
And trick number 3, learn useful phrases, not just words. Learning language in chunks, like it depends, helps you respond quickly.
And finally, trick number 4, practice speaking out loud. Train the muscles in your mouth by repeating, shadowing, or just talking to yourself.
And remember that fluency is about confidence, not perfection.
That brings us to the end of our episode. We hope you found these tips helpful. If you did, please follow our channel so you don't miss our next episode.
And we would love it if you could like this episode and leave a comment. Tell us which of these tricks you're going to try first, or let us know what you would like to hear about in a future episode.
Your feedback helps us create better content for you. Thanks so much for listening.
Until next time, keep practicing. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.